The royal palace of Nexoria gleamed under 3 moons as Princess Zara strolled through her garden. She was tall and slender, with blue skin that shimmered like water. Her 6 fingers tapped impatiently against her thigh as she waited. Today was the day the human delegation would arrive. The first contact between Nexorians and humans had happened just 1 cycle ago, and already these primitive creatures thought they could negotiate trade deals. Zara snorted at the thought her species had mastered space travel thousands of years ago while humans had barely left their solar system. She had studied their biology and found it lacking. No enhanced senses, no natural defenses, not even a proper set of secondary limbs. How had they survived this? Long, the royal announcer approached with a bow. The human representatives have arrived. My princess. Zara straightened her ceremonial robes and lifted her chin high. Show them in. 5 humans entered the garden. 4 wore identical dark uniforms while 1 wore something different, something that caught her attention. A massive suit of mechanical armor that whirred and clicked with each step. The armored one towered over the others, nearly matching her own height. Welcome to Nexoria. Zara said her, translator converting her harmonic speech into human English. I am Princess Zara, 3rd heir to the eternal throne. A woman with pale skin and auburn hair stepped forward. We are honored by your welcome, Princess. I am Ambassador Kate Harris of Earth. Alliance. Zara barely acknowledged the ambassador. Her 6 eyes were fixed on the armored figure. The translator device in her ear identified the armor as combat-grade military issue. Her interest grew. And this one? Zara pointed at the armored human. This is your warrior. The helmet of the armor tilted slightly. Yes, Princess, I am Lieutenant Lily Chen. Earth Defense Force. Zara circled the human studying the armor with growing amusement. This is how you protect yourselves. Your bodies are so fragile, you must hide inside metal shells. The lieutenant stood perfectly still. We adapt to survive, is that what you call it? Zara laughed, releasing a musical sound that made the other humans shift uncomfortably. On Nexoria, our warriors train their bodies to become weapons. We have no need for such primitive protection. Ambassador Harris smiled tightly. Princess, perhaps we should discuss the trade proposal. Zara waved a dismissive hand. The ambassador and her attendants could wait. Her focus remained on the armored human. Something about this Earth warrior intrigued her despite her mockery. Does your species always hide behind technology? She asked, stepping closer to the lieutenant. Or is it just you? There was a pause. Then the lieutenant spoke. Her voice was calm through the helmet's speaker. Would you like to see? Zara blinked in surprise. This was not the reaction she expected from a supposedly inferior species. She had expected embarrassment or anger. Not this quiet confidence. Very well. Humans, show me what hides beneath your shell. The ambassador looked alarmed. Lieutenant Chen, I don't think it's all right, Ambassador. The lieutenant said. The princess should understand who she is dealing with. With a series of mechanical hisses and clicks, the armor began to open. First, the helmet retracted, revealing a human face with determined eyes and short dark hair. Then the chest plate split along invisible seams. The arm pieces disengaged, followed by the leg armor piece by piece. The massive suit opened and from within stepped a human woman. Zara had expected a weak, soft creature. Instead, the lieutenant stood tall, her body clearly strong and defined, with muscles that spoke of intense training. Her skin bore markings that Zara recognized as battle scars. Most surprising was her height. Without the armor, she was smaller than Zara had imagined, barely reaching the princess' chest. Yet she stood with such confidence that she seemed to fill the space around her. The human looked up, meeting all 6 of Zara's eyes without flinching. My name is Lily Chen, Princess Zara. My people don't hide behind technology, we partner with it. The armor doesn't make me strong. It amplifies what is already there. Zara found herself speechless. The smaller woman radiated a power that had nothing to do with physical size or technological enhancement. There was something in her eyes, a fierce intelligence and determination that Zara had rarely seen, even among her own kind. For the first time, Zara wondered, If she had misjudged these humans, perhaps their strength wasn't in their bodies or even their technology, but in something else entirely, something that burned within them like an invisible fire. I would like to know more about your people. Lieutenant, Zara said, her tone now respectful. Perhaps over the evening meal the lieutenant smiled, revealing white teeth. Perhaps, Princess. But first, maybe we should let Ambassador Harris discuss that trade agreement. As they moved toward the grand hall, Zara found herself watching the human with new eyes. The way she moved even without her armor spoke of discipline and strength. What other surprises did these humans hold? The grand hall of the Nexorian palace sparkled with crystal formations that grew naturally from the ceiling. Soft blue light pulsed through them, creating an atmosphere that made humans gasp in wonder. Ambassador Harris and her team tried to maintain diplomatic composure, but their eyes betrayed their awe. Only Lieutenant Lily Chen seemed unaffected. She walked beside Princess Zara, her movements precise and measured. Her armor was now folded into a compact case carried by one of the other humans. Zara gestured toward a long table made of polished stone. Take your seats. The feast will begin shortly. The humans settled into chairs specially designed to accommodate their smaller frames. Lily sat directly across from Zara, who could not help but study the human with growing curiosity. Tell me, Lieutenant, Zara said as servants brought in platters of exotic foods. How long have you been a warrior? Lily considered the question. I joined Earth Defense when I was 18 years old. I am now 32, Zara calculated quickly in her mind. So young, by Nexorian standards, Lily would barely be considered an adolescent. Yet she carried herself like a seasoned warrior. And you have seen combat? Lily nodded. 3 major conflicts and numerous smaller engagements. Ambassador Harris cleared her throat. Perhaps we should discuss lighter topics during the meal. No, Zara said, her eyes still on Lily. I wish to understand. I have read reports that your planet has known much conflict. Is this true? It is, Lily said, accepting a glass of shimmering liquid from a servant. War has been part of human history since our beginning. Zara leaned forward. Why do you fight? Lily took a small sip from her glass. For many reasons. Territory, resources, power, beliefs. Sometimes to protect others, sometimes because we are ordered to. And you? What do you fight for? Lily met Zara's gaze. To protect those who cannot protect themselves. Something in the human's simple answer resonated with Zara. Though she would never admit it aloud, that was the core of Nexorian warrior philosophy as well. The meal progressed, as did the conversation. Ambassador Harris discussed trade possibilities, resources. Both planets could share technology that might be exchanged, but Zara found herself more interested in the quiet human warrior who spoke little but observed everything. After the feast ended, Zara made an impulsive decision. Lieutenant Chen, would you join me for a tour of our training grounds? I believe you expressed interest in Nexorian combat techniques. Ambassador Harris looked surprised, but Lily nodded. I would be honored, Princess. The ambassador knows the way to your quarters, Zara told the other humans. You will be comfortable there. With that, she led Lily from the grand hall and through a series of corridors that descended deep into the palace structure. The walls changed from polished stone to rougher material. The air grew warmer, more humid. We are approaching the heart of the palace, Zara explained. The place where our warriors have trained for 10,000 years. They entered a vast cavern. The floor was covered with sand that glowed faintly blue. Several Nexorian warriors were engaged in combat practice. Their movements were fluid, almost like a dance, but Zara could see Lily recognizing the deadly precision behind each gesture. Our warriors train from birth, Zara said, watching Lily's reaction. Some show more aptitude than others. Those with the greatest skill become royal guards. Lily observed the training with intense focus. I see similarities to some Earth martial arts. The emphasis on balance and momentum. The use of an opponent's strength against them. You are observant, Zara noted. This form is called Tashara. It teaches that true strength comes from within, not from physical power alone. Lily smiled slightly. Sounds like something my first instructor would say. One of the warriors approached a tall male with deep purple skin. He bowed to Zara. This is Commander Vex, head of my personal guard. Vex studied Lily with all 6 of his eyes. A human, warrior. How interesting. They say your kind relies on weapons, not skill. Lily met his gaze respectfully. Different planets, different evolution, different approaches, but the warrior spirit is universal. I think. Vex made a sound that might have been amusement. Would you care to demonstrate your earth techniques? Zara started to object, but Lily spoke first. I would be honored if the princess permits it. All eyes turned to Zara. She hesitated. The human was much smaller than Vex. It seemed an unfair match. Yet, something in Lily's calm demeanor made her curious. Very well, she said. A friendly exchange. Then to Vex. Remember, she is our guest. No serious harm. Vex bowed and led Lily to a circular area marked in the sand. Other warriors gathered to watch the room, fell silent as human and Nexorian faced each other. Lily removed her boots and stood barefoot on the sand. She wore only a simple black uniform now. No armor, no weapons. Her stance was relaxed, yet balanced. Vex towered over her, his 4 arms held in a traditional fighting position. He moved first one hand sweeping toward Lily in what seemed like a slow attack. Zara knew better. This was one of Vex's favorite tactics. The attack appeared slow but carried tremendous power. Lily did not attempt to block. Instead, she moved just enough for the blow to miss, then stepped inside Vex's reach. Her hand struck in quick succession, targeting points on his body that made him stumble. Zara watched in amazement. The human was using Vex's size against him, staying close where his longer reach was less effective. Her movements were efficient, nothing wasted. The exchange continued for several minutes, neither combatant landing a decisive blow, both adapting to the other's style. Finally, Zara called a halt. Enough, she said. You both demonstrate. Skill. Vex stepped back, breathing heavily. The human fights well for one with only 2 arms. Lily bowed to him. Your technique is impressive. I have learned much just from this brief exchange. As they left the training grounds, Zara found herself reevaluating everything she thought she knew about humans. They were not just technologically clever. They possessed a spirit and adaptability that was truly remarkable. Perhaps we are not so different after all, she thought, watching. Lily walked beside her, discussing combat techniques with genuine interest. Dawn broke over the Nexorian capital city, painting the sky in shades of purple and green. Princess Zara stood on her private balcony, watching as the first sun crested the horizon. Soon the second would follow, creating the unique dual light that nourished her world. Lieutenant Lily Chen joined her at the railing. The human had been on Nexoria for 3 days now. Each day Zara found herself seeking the lieutenant's company. Your world is beautiful, Lily said quietly. The colors are unlike anything on Earth. Zara glanced at the human. How many planets have you visited? 7. Lily replied, but none as vibrant as Nexoria. Each world has its own character. Earth is blue and green. Tarsus 4 is mostly red desert. Proxima B is all oceans and small islands. Zara was impressed. Despite her earlier dismissal of humans as planetary bound, she had to admit they had expanded quickly since developing faster than light travel today. I thought you might accompany me to the Science Academy. Zara said. I believe you would find it interesting. Lily nodded. I would like that. Ambassador Harris and her team are meeting with your trade ministers today. They won't miss me. The Science Academy was housed in a sprawling complex of domes and spires near the center of the city. Zara and Lily traveled there in a hover transport accompanied by 2 royal guards. The streets below were filled with Nexorians going about their daily business. Many stopped to stare at the unusual sight of a human in their midst as they entered. The main research building, a tall Nexorian with pale blue skin approached and bowed deeply. Princess Zara, we are honored by your visit. I am Director Mala, head of the Academy. This is Lieutenant Lily Chen of Earth. Zara introduced. She is interested in our scientific achievements. Director Mala regarded Lily with obvious curiosity. We have been eager to meet representatives from Earth. Your species' development has followed a fascinating trajectory. Most species take thousands of years longer. To achieve space travel, we adapt quickly, Lily said. It seems to be our primary evolutionary advantage. Indeed, Director Mala led them through hallways lined with research laboratories. Various projects were underway. Some involved strange floating liquids. Others featured complex holographic displays. Here we study everything from quantum physics to biology to planetary sciences. They stopped at a laboratory where several Nexorians were gathered around what appeared to be a small plant. Its leaves were changing color as they watched. This is one of our current projects, Director Mala explained. We are developing plants that can rapidly adapt to different environments. It could help terraform worlds that are currently uninhabitable. Lily stepped closer, studying the plant with interest. On Earth, we have similar research, though not as advanced as this. The tour continued through departments dedicated to medicine, energy production, and artificial intelligence. Each stop revealed Nexorian technology, far beyond what humans had achieved. Yet Lily did not seem intimidated. Instead, she asked insightful questions, making connections to similar human endeavors in the quantum computing lab. Lily surprised everyone by suggesting an alternative approach to a problem the Nexorian scientists had been struggling with. Have you tried isolating the quantum fluctuations by using a reversed polarity field? Lily asked, pointing to their equipment. On Earth, we found that sometimes the simplest solution works, when complex ones fail. The lead scientist blinked all 6 eyes in surprise. We have not considered that approach. It may indeed work. As they left the lab, Director Mala turned to Zara. Your human guest is remarkably knowledgeable, Princess. Not what I expected based on our reports, Zara nodded, feeling a strange sense of pride. Though she had no claim to Lily's achievements, I believe there is much about humans we have yet to understand. Later, as they sat in a garden courtyard sharing a meal, Zara found herself asking questions she had never thought to ask a member of another species. What drives humans forward? Lily. Is it just survival? Lily considered the question. Survival is part of it. But there is something more. We are curious by nature. We want to understand. We want to explore. We ask why and how and what if. Perhaps that is our greatest strength, and your greatest weakness. Lily smiled. Sometimes we move too quickly. We make mistakes. We create problems while trying to solve others. Our history is filled with examples, Zara nodded. That is true of many species, including my own. Though we move more slowly, we have made our share of errors. Their conversation was interrupted by the arrival of a royal messenger. He bowed low. Princess, I bring urgent news. There has been an incident at the Southern Research Facility, an explosion. Several scientists are trapped. Zara stood immediately. Prepare my transport, Lieutenant. Lily stepped forward. Princess, I would like to accompany you. My combat armor has advanced sensors and strength enhancement. It might be useful in a rescue operation. Zara hesitated only briefly. Very well. Call for your armor, Lieutenant. We leave as soon as it arrives. Within minutes, they were aboard a royal transport speeding toward the southern edge of the city. Lily, now fully encased in her combat armor, stood beside Zara. As the pilot relayed details of the situation, a containment field failed during an experiment. The facility is partially collapsed. 4 scientists are confirmed trapped inside. Toxic gas is leaking from damaged storage units. What kind of toxic gas? Lily asked, her voice slightly mechanical through the helmet speakers. A compound we call nexosite, the pilot answered. It paralyzes Nexorian respiratory systems on contact. Lily turned to Zara. My armor has its own air supply. I can enter areas that would be dangerous for your people. Zara studied the human. She had initially mocked the armor as a sign of weakness. Now she saw it for what it was, a tool that expanded capabilities. Just as Lily had said humans partnered with their technology, they didn't hide behind it. We will work together, she said. My people know the facility. Your technology can help us reach areas we cannot. As the transport descended toward a complex now partially hidden by smoke and debris, Zara saw something in the armored human's posture. A readiness, a determination. There was no fear, only focused preparation. For the first time, Zara fully understood what she had glimpsed in their first meeting. The true strength of humans wasn't in their bodies or even in their clever machines. It was in their spirit, their willingness to face challenges, adapt, overcome, and help others, even those who had once looked down on them. "We have arrived," the pilot announced. Lily checked her armor systems one final time, then turned to Zara. "Ready, Princess." Zara straightened her shoulders, feeling her own warrior heritage stirring within her. "Ready, Lieutenant." Together. Chaos greeted them at the research facility. Emergency teams rushed about. Injured scientists were being treated in makeshift medical stations. Smoke poured from a large hole in the domed structure. A Nexorian emergency commander approached Princess Zara and bowed quickly. "The situation is critical. Your Highness, 4 scientists are trapped in the lower laboratory. The structure is unstable, and Nexosite gas fills the chamber. Our teams cannot enter." Zara turned to Lily. "Do your sensors detect the gas concentration?" Lily nodded, her helmet displaying readouts only she could see. "Levels are high. Lethal to Nexorians. My filters can handle it, but I have approximately 40 minutes of enhanced air supply. I know the facility layout," Zara said. "I can guide you, but I cannot enter the contaminated areas. Then we work as a team," Lily said. "The armor enhances my strength, but I will need your knowledge." Zara quickly donned emergency gear, though it would not protect her from the gas. She led Lily toward a side entrance less damaged than the main doors. "We can access the lower levels through the maintenance shaft," she explained, pointing to a narrow opening. "The trapped scientists were working in Laboratory 6. It's 3 levels down." Lily scanned the shaft with her armor sensors. "The path is clear but narrow. I can fit. Be careful," Zara warned. "Some sections may be unstable after the explosion." Lily entered the shaft first, with Zara following until they reached a point where sensors showed dangerous gas levels. "I must stop here," Zara said through her communication device. "Laboratory 6 is straight ahead, after 2 more junctions." Lily continued alone, her armor lights illuminating the dark passage. Debris blocked portions of the path, but the enhanced strength of her suit allowed her to clear the way. The air grew thicker with smoke and toxic gas, but her helmet filters worked efficiently. She reached Laboratory 6 to find the entrance blocked by a collapsed support beam. Through a small gap she could see movement inside 4 Nexorians huddled in a corner, using emergency breathing masks that were clearly running low. Lieutenant Chen to Princess Zara. "I found them. Entrance is blocked. Need to create an opening. Be careful." Zara responded. "The structure is unstable. Too much force could bring down the entire section." Lily assessed the situation. The beam was too heavy to move completely, but perhaps she could create enough space for the scientists to crawl through. She positioned herself carefully and activated her armor's enhanced strength mode. With careful precision, she began to lift one end of the beam. The armor whirred as it amplified her strength. Every muscle strained despite the mechanical assistance. Slowly, the beam raised, creating a gap. "Nexorian scientists, I am Lieutenant Chen from Earth." Lily called out, "Can you move toward my voice?" One scientist, a female with deep green skin, looked up. "I see you, human." "We come." The 4 scientists began crawling toward the opening. The last one, a male with injuries to his lower limbs, struggled to move. Lily held the beam steady despite warning lights flashing inside her helmet. The strain on the armor systems was approaching critical levels. The first 3 scientists made it through the gap. The injured one remained just out of reach. "I cannot," Lily heard him say. "Leave me." "No one gets left behind," Lily responded. She adjusted her position. The beam shifted dangerously, but the gap widened slightly. "Reach for my hand." The scientist stretched. His arm, Lily caught it with her free hand and pulled him through just as her armor gave a critical warning. Beep. The beam was crushing the shoulder joint of her suit. With the scientist clear, she let the beam drop. It crashed down with a sound that echoed through the facility. Dust and debris rained around them. "We must hurry," Lily told the scientists. "Follow me." Leading the injured group back through the maintenance shaft was slow work. The injured scientist needed help to move one of the others. Was showing signs of gas exposure despite her mask. Lily checked her air supply. 15 minutes remained. They reached the junction where Zara waited. The princess immediately called for medical teams to stand ready. You found them. All of them. Her voice carried both relief and something else. Respect. Not clear yet, Lily responded. The path ahead is deteriorating. Fast as possible, they moved through the shaft toward the exit. The injured scientist leaned heavily on Lily, while Zara helped another, who was struggling to breathe. The shaft groaned around them. Sections were beginning to collapse. Hurry. Zara urged. They were just 20 meters from the exit when a loud crack echoed above them. A support beam split and began to fall directly toward the princess. Lily reacted without thought. She pushed the scientist she was helping toward the exit, then lunged toward Zara. The armor moved with her, amplifying her speed. She reached the princess just as the beam fell. Lily positioned herself above, Zara taking the full weight of the beam across her armored back. The suit whined in protest but held multiple warning lights flashed inside her helmet. Go, Lily ordered everyone out now. The scientist scrambled toward the exit. Zara hesitated, looking up at the human who shielded her. Not without you. The armor can hold, but not forever. Go, I will follow. Zara moved toward safety, then turned back. Lily struggled to maintain position. The beam was heavy even for the enhanced strength of her suit. Warning. Indicators showed structural integrity failing. Multiple systems approaching critical levels. With a final surge of effort, Lily pushed upward, creating enough space to roll clear. The beam crashed down behind her as she stumbled toward the exit. Armor movements now jerky and uncoordinated. They emerged into the open air. Medical teams rushed forward to assist the scientists. Lily took 3 more steps, then her armor locked up completely. Frozen in place, she could not move. Emergency release, she gasped. The manual controls on the back of the helmet. Zara rushed to her. The princess found the emergency panel and activated it. The armor opened with a hiss of escaping air. Lily fell forward as the suit released. Her medics caught her before she hit the ground. Her face was pale with exertion, but she was conscious. Her eyes found Zara's. Everyone safe? She asked. All safe. Zara confirmed, because of you. Lily managed to smile. Good. Then it was worth it. Later in the Palace Medical Center, Zara sat. Beside Lily's bed, the human had suffered exhaustion and minor injuries but would recover fully. Her armor had been taken for repairs. The scientists you saved wish to thank you, Zara said. They will recover as well. Lily nodded. I'm glad. You risked your life, Zara said, studying the human. For people you don't know, on a world not your own. Why? Lily considered the question. Because they needed help. It's what I would do anywhere. It's what any of us would do. Zara was silent for a moment. When you first arrived, I thought your armor was compensation for weakness. Now I understand it is an extension of something already strong. Lily smiled slightly. I told you we partner with our technology. We don't hide behind it. The scientists you saved are already talking about adapting your armor design for our people, Zara said. With modifications for our physiology, of course. Sounds like the beginning of a beautiful friendship, Lily said, quoting something Zara did not recognize. Yes. Zara agreed. I believe it is. 1 full moon cycle had passed since the rescue at the research facility. Lieutenant Lily Chen stood on the landing pad beside Ambassador Kate Harris. The human delegation was preparing to return to Earth. Their diplomatic mission complete, a trade agreement signed and cultural exchanges arranged. Princess Zara approached, accompanied by her royal guard. The princess had changed in the past cycle, her previously haughty demeanor replaced by something more thoughtful. She wore ceremonial armor, a traditional Nexorian design, but with subtle modifications inspired by human technology. The negotiations have been successful. Ambassador Harris said, Our peoples will benefit greatly from this new relationship. Indeed, Zara agreed. The Nexorian High Council has approved all terms. We look forward to implementing our agreements. As the ambassador and her staff made final preparations, Zara gestured for Lily to walk with her. They moved away from the others toward the edge of the landing platform. The view overlooked the capital city. Sprawling below. Your armor has been fully repaired, Zara noted, looking at the compact case Lily carried. Our engineers learned much from studying it. They were impressed by the design. Lily smiled. Earth would be interested in some of your materials technology. The lightweight alloys your people create would improve our armor significantly. They stood in comfortable silence for a moment. Then Zara spoke. When you first arrived, I thought humans were primitive. Weak beings hiding inside metal shells. I believed Nexorians were superior in every way. And now, Lily asked, now I understand true strength takes many forms. Zara said, technology is not a crutch for the weak, but a tool for the wise. Your people lack our physical advantages but compensate with innovation, adaptation, and spirit. These are strengths my people could learn from. Lily nodded, just as we could learn from your wisdom. Your people think in terms of centuries while we often focus on immediate concerns. Each approach has value. From the ship came a signal. The ambassador called out Lieutenant Chen. We depart in 10 minutes. I have something for you, Zara said. She removed a small object from her robes and handed it to Lily. It was a crystal, pendant that glowed with inner blue light. This is Nexa Heart, Zara explained. It is given only to those considered true warriors of Nexoria. You have earned this honor. Lily accepted the pendant with genuine surprise. Thank you, Princess. This means a great deal to me. Zara hesitated, then continued. There is something else. The High Council has approved a new position. Earth Defense Liaison to Nexoria. We hope you will consider accepting this role. It would mean returning to Nexoria regularly to help develop joint defense initiatives. Lily smiled. I would be honored. My superiors have already suggested something similar. I believe they will approve. Good, Zara said. Perhaps too quickly. Then she composed herself. The arrangement would be beneficial to both our worlds. They walked back toward the waiting ship. Ambassador Harris was speaking with Commander Vex, finalizing security protocols. The rest of the human delegation had already boarded. When do you think you might return? Zara asked. Trying to sound casual. Within 1 Earth month if the position is approved. Lily replied. I would need to complete some training assignments first. A month. Zara calculated the time difference. That is not so long. No, Lily agreed. Not so long at all, Ambassador. Harris approached Lieutenant Time to board. Lily turned to Zara. In human tradition, we sometimes bow to royalty or shake hands with new friends. I'm not sure what is appropriate here. Zara considered this. In Nexorian tradition, warriors who have fought together touch foreheads. It symbolizes shared experience and trust. Lily nodded and stepped forward. Despite their height difference, Zara leaned down slightly. Their foreheads touched briefly. A simple gesture, but one loaded with meaning. Until we meet. Again, Lieutenant Chen. Until then, Princess Zara. As the human ship lifted off, Zara remained watching. The Nexa Heart crystal she wore beneath her armor, a twin to the one she had given Lily, glowed warmly against her skin. When she had first received the human delegation, she had expected to endure primitives. Instead, she had found equals. And in one human, she had found something she had never expected. A kindred spirit, Commander. Vex approached. Your Highness, the Council awaits your report on the human delegation. Zara turned from the now empty sky. Yes, of course I have much to tell them. The days that followed were busy. Preparations for the new trade arrangements kept Zara occupied. The Science Academy began studying the data shared by humans. Medical researchers discovered that certain Earth plants contained compounds that could treat Nexorian ailments. Engineers worked to incorporate human design elements into Nexorian technology. Zara found herself spending hours in the Royal Archives, studying Earth history, literature, and culture. She was particularly fascinated by human concepts of friendship and loyalty. Their lives were so brief, yet they formed deep attachments. She wondered if this was because they had so little time, or if It was something inherent in their nature. One evening, as she studied Earth military history, Director Mala requested an audience enter. Zara called, setting aside the history text. The science director bowed. "Princess, we have completed our analysis of the combat armor Lieutenant Chen allowed us to study. The results are remarkable." Zara gestured for her to continue. "The neural interface is far more sophisticated than we initially believed," Mala explained. "It doesn't just read basic commands. It forms a true partnership with the wearer, learning and adapting to individual movement patterns. We believe with modification, this technology could be applied to many fields beyond combat interesting." Zara said. "What modifications would be needed for Nexorian?" Physiology. Mala displayed a holographic schematic. "Our greater height and forearms require structural changes. The neural mapping would need adjustment for our brain patterns. But the basic principles are sound. Begin prototype development." Zara ordered. "When Lieutenant Chen returns, I want to show her our progress." "Yes, Princess." Mala hesitated, then added, "The human technology meshes well with ours. They think differently, approach problems from angles we might not consider. The partnership has potential, beyond what we imagined." Partnership. Zara repeated the word thoughtfully. "Yes, I believe you are right." Exactly 1 month after the human delegation departed, a small Earth vessel entered Nexorian space. Zara received the notification while overseeing combat training with her Royal Guard. Lieutenant Chen requests permission to enter Nexorian space. The messenger announced. She transmits her credentials as Earth Defense Liaison. Zara maintained her royal composure, though her inner hearts beat faster. "Permission granted. Prepare the diplomatic reception." Commander Vex raised an eyebrow. "A full diplomatic reception for one human, not just any human," Zara corrected. "A warrior who has proven herself, and our first official liaison with Earth. The proper protocols must be observed." As Vex left to make arrangements, Zara allowed herself a small smile. The human was returning sooner than expected. This pleased her, though she would not admit it openly. She touched the Nexaheart crystal beneath her armor, feeling its warmth. The humans had a saying that Zara had discovered in her studies. Sometimes the strongest alliances begin with misunderstanding. How true that was. She had mocked a human soldier. Then that soldier had saved her life. And now, perhaps, that soldier would help save both their worlds from whatever challenges the universe might bring. Zara looked up at the sky, where soon a small Earthship would appear, bringing with it new possibilities. For the first time in her long life, she felt genuine excitement about the future. A future that would be shaped not just by Nexorians but by humans as well, especially one human in particular.